Hello, welcome to SwamiLee's Sports Talk here at SwamiLee's Sports Cards and Collectibles, 2673 Haddonfield Road in Pensacola, New Jersey. I'm Swami Lee.
I'm Mellow Mike.
I'm Healthy Ed.
Oh, good to know. Good to know.
Very good.
Anyway, there's really not much going on in Philly sports today.
No.
I think the Flyers played the other day. Did the Flyers play the other day?
They're playing right now, as a matter of fact.
Flyers are playing right now.
Last time I checked, they were ahead 3-1, maybe.
Sixers are...
Crap. They're crap.
Well, yeah, but they're the Sixers. They haven't been good for 20 years anyway.
Beats a starter on the All-Star team now.
Wow, what a thrill. And then you have the Phillies with all their hot moves they're making, or lack thereof. But then again, nobody else is making any moves anyway. And the Soul, how are the Soul doing?
Is that still a
I think
team?
their season starts in a few weeks.
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't follow it. I mean, I know Bon Jovi was involved for a while, so we had to watch games because of Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi was going to buy the Buffalo Bills and was sidetracked by Mr. Donald Trump.
Oh.
I heard that on an interview the other day.
How about that?
Yeah.
What about the Union? I guess it's not soccer season now, is it?
Well, fun story I have, because they will be watching this. My sister-in-law's boyfriend was trying out for the Philadelphia Kicks and got signed by the Philadelphia Union, so he actually starts practice next month.
That's great.
So, Dustin, when you see this, I expect tickets to every game. I'm not paying for it. That's coming out of your pocket, dude.
Wait, does he know Freddie Adu?
I don't know who he knows, but all I know is this dude plays soccer. That was news to me. And I went to my first full-fledged soccer game, the last game of the season of the Union, from my sister-in-law's boyfriend, Dustin, took us. And I had the best time of my life. I didn't realize that going to soccer matches was so much fun. And I'm a fan of soccer. I actually watch the English Premier League. I watch all that stuff all the time. I'm a big fan of soccer. But I've just never been to a game, to a match. And I thought it was like the most fun I've had in a long time.
I watched grass grow the other day. That was a pretty good time.
That's because you have no social life. You have no athletic ability except for rolling a bowling ball. And you're pretty good at it. I'm not going to lie. Were we ever in a league together?
Barely.
Barely, right?
Remember my back went out on me towards
That's right. That's right.
That was it. I retired. I officially
That's
retired
right.
from bowling because of that.
We were pretty good.
I was a bomb diggity, back in my day.
Whatever the way he throws the ugliest ball.
Oh my God! There's
but
no
it works.
question.
But it works. It works.
I'm like the Bill Wegman of bowling, but that means nothing to any of you guys. You don't know what Bill Wegman is, but I used to call him Junk Ball and Bill Wegman back in the day.
Yeah.
He was a good pitcher. He got a 4-year contract from the Brewers and pitched good for a year and a half, and then the rest was Anyway, while we're at it, we best get to our topic, which of course is your
The NFL.
Philadelphia Eagles. Well, being that, all I'm going to say to you is it's Case Keenum. So if the Eagles lose, it's on them. I'm going to go right to defer to Mike. Talk to me.
Okay. We don't have enough time for me to give you all the reasons why the Eagles will win, so I'll just give you 5 or 6. 1, home field advantage. 2, this dome team fails against good teams in the out of doors. 3, Case Keenum. 4, now I know this is supposed to be a family show, but to be blunt, thanks to Marcus Williams, the Vikings shot their load last week. They are done.
He played the shot the load card.
They should not even be here. And you know what? I'm glad they're here because Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram, and the rest of them are a lot scarier than the Minnesota Vikings. Defense or no. That's 4. Reason 5. Sure, Mike Zimmer is a good defensive mind. But you know what? The Eagles have enough weapons. And if Zach Ertz can't get it done, and Alshon Jeffrey can't get it done, then you're going to see big games from Nelson Aguilar going up against Terrence Newman, who must be as old as we are and as slow as we are.
I think, Newman's 39?
No, he's not that old.
No, yes, he is.
No.
He's at least that old.
He's at 38, 39 years old.
Didn't he come up in like 03 or something
Dude,
like that?
he is like 38,
Wait,
39 years
actually, if he came up in around 03, that's 15 years, so he could be 37, 38, 39.
Yeah. I'm
And-
sorry, Mike.
Oh, it's quite all right. Trey Burton is going to have a big game. Nelson Aguilar is going to have a big game. And someone in that Eagles backfield, whether it's Ajayi or Blunt or Clement or maybe more than one of them, will come up big. Now, the point spread might end up being small, 4 points, say 17-13. But the fact is, the Eagles will be in the Super Bowl Those are 5 reasons, and you know what? You can argue all you want, and you'd be wrong.
Well, reason number 6 is Andy Reid is not the head coach of the Eagles. He just left that out. Ed, what do you think?
Well, unlike my compadre Mike here, I think these teams are way evenly matched. I don't have this big bravado of we're just going to steamroll over this team. I will say, Case Keenum does not scare me. Not even a little bit. The center and guards of the Minnesota Vikings offensive line does not scare me. I expect Fletcher Cox and Timmy Jernigan to have a big game. For this team to win, the front 4 has to have pressure on Case Keenum like no other before. The offensive line for the Vikings is good. They're not great. Just like the offensive line for the Eagles are good, they're not great. Okay? So I think the battle's going to be won on the defensive front on the 4. Their linebackers are better than ours. Their defensive backs are better than ours. If we're looking at it on paper, they just are. But I really think where the mismatch comes into play will be our front 4 against their offensive line. I also think that, I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but I think Doug Peterson is a way hell of a better coach, is a way better of a head coach. I think we have the edge on coaching. We have the edge on special teams as long as they don't mess up. We have the edge on special teams. We have the edge on running backs coach. Our running backs, by committee, we're not on paper. We're not supposed to run against this team. We're not supposed to run against this team. It's just not going to happen. All right. I heard somewhere they did a simulation of this and they ran it 1,000 times or something, and the point spread where it got so close where they had Minnesota edging out like 51% of the games that they won. So it was like that close. So the teams are evenly matched. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but I won't be surprised if something happens where it opens up that it's like a 17-point win. Like some of those, sometimes when you have these 2 crazy defensive teams, something's got to break. Something's got to give. And I've seen it way too many times where number 1 defensive team against a number 2 defensive team, and then all of a sudden people are running around just like the Broncos. We play the Broncos. Granted, they're a horrible team, but at the time, they came into Philly. They came into Philly with the number 1 rush defense. I believe it was, or the number 2. They were in the top 5 of rush defense and pass offense. They were like in the top 5 defensive overall, and we steamrolled them. It wasn't even a game. It was a joke.
Well, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Last year, Doug Peterson was a horrible head coach that could barely keep his job, according to the fans of Philadelphia. Now, this is
and I was one of them.
And this is not geared, though, to you or to you. Just be clear about this. This is geared to the city of Philadelphia. All of a sudden, because the team turns around 13-3, I believe it was, if I'm correct, all of a sudden, he is the greatest head coach since Hank Stram or, Shula or whomever it might be. I mean, if the Eagles, heaven forbid, the Eagles lose 37-6 this week, are we going to hear how Doug Peterson's the worst coach in the NFL again?
No, well, here's the way I look at it. I still, contrary to what a lot of people think, I'm still not sold that Doug Peterson is like the best head coach. I'm not.
Remember,
now
he didn't buy a car from me. He came to the dealership. He didn't buy a truck. It was actually a truck. So I'm pretty pissed off. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. That was
But I look at it this way. I look at it from what he's done from year 1 to year 2. The growth that he basically has the same exact team. He has the same exact team. Okay, so and now you've overcome injuries to Sproles, Hicks, Peters, Wentz, and you're still going for it on 4th downs. You're still doing the same. Now, granted, some of his play calling just drives me crazy. Some of these play calling, but the play calling he did against the Falcons, in the second half, the adjustments he did in the second half, because that first half, I was like, if I had hair, I would have ripped it out. That first half was like, there's no way we're winning this game. And that second half, it looked like a totally different team. And I firmly believe that this team does not do well when they have a week off. This team is the type of team that needs to play every single week. And the adjustments he made, and the play calling that he made offensively, okay, and then defensive adjustments that they made with Schwartz's defense was just phenomenal. And speaking on defense, for as much as I can't stand Jalen Mills, he drives me crazy. He's good for at least 2 PIs in a game, a holding call. But the kid just keeps on playing. And you're stacking him up against the number 1, 2, 3 wide receiver in the entire NFL? And he's holding his own. And it's like he has memory loss after every play. He's like, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And that's a testament to Doug Peterson. Andy Reid would not have gotten this much out of this team.
Well, Andy Reid, really? I mean,
They would have never run the ball.
They wouldn't have had a timeout left after 9 minutes and 56 seconds in the first quarter. I mean,
I've got to add two things to what Ed said.
Go ahead.
we're running out of time, so
Well,
be quick,
don't
be
worry.
quick, be quick.
First of all, you're dead right about Jalen Mills. I mean, sure, Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen are good receivers.
They are.
But they are not great receivers, and they're not so good that Jalen Mills can't keep them in check. The other point I need to make is that there is one more reason I'm so confident the Eagles are going to take this game, and it's no Todd Haley and no Mike Tomlin.
Which we'll cover after the break. So we will be right back.
Are we going to give an Eagles prediction, score prediction?
Well, he said 17-13.
17-13, what do you think?
I do
you're not an Eagles fan.
think the Eagles are going to win. I really do. I think you're going to see the Eagles, and they're probably going to score about 23 points. So I'm going to go 23-17.
23-17. And I'm going to stick with my Negadelphia attitude, because every time I pick against them, they win. Every time I pick against them, then they win. So I'm going to abstain from giving any score. I'm going to tell you one truth and one lie, and it's up to you to figure out which one is the right one. Okay? Minnesota wins 13-10. You heard it here. Or the Eagles win 2014.
So, Ed says either the Vikings are going to win or the Eagles are going to win. He's the man. We'll be right back.
Let's be real.
We'll be right back with the word after our sponsor.
Hello, I'm Dickie Knowles, 1980 Philadelphia Phillies pitcher. That was the year we won the World Series, our very first in our history. And when I'm in South Jersey, I love stopping at SwamiLee's for the best card selection in the Delaware Valley area.
And we're back here at SwamiLee's Sports Talk, SwamiLee's Sports Cars and Collectibles in Penn Talk in New Jersey. I'm Swami Lee.
I'm Mellow Mike.
I'm Crazy Ed.
Well, you ain't crazy compared to this next topic and how I feel. Let me tell you something, boys and girls. We all know that I'm Howard Cosell. I could never play the game. You have to be old to appreciate that, but he wrote a book called I Never Played the Game. I know
Of course,
football.
compared to you, we're Don Meredith.
I wouldn't say you are, but other people maybe.
Oh, thanks.
Anyway, back to the story.
I plead.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I could have done any better or whatever it might be, but guess what? I could have done better than that disgraceful performance by Mike Tomlin last Sunday. I'm okay with my team losing. The Steelers lose a game. You don't win every game. I'm used to the first round outage because that's the dumb Mike Tomlin thing. He's like Andy Reid, a little shorter, a little darker, but he somehow finds a way to screw things up.
Don't forget a little slimmer, too.
That's a little slimmer. That's a lot slimmer.
Don't forget a Super Bowl winner.
But he won with Bill Cowher's team. He still had to win. Don't get me wrong. But he has not been able to win on his own, in spite of the fact that his team wins 10 to 12 games almost every single season. Okay, they're the 2 or the 1 seed, and they get knocked out in the first round, or if they're lucky, the second round. Well, let me tell you something about Mike Tomlin. This guy should be unemployed right now. If I was as bad at my job as Mike Tomlin is his job, I'd be unemployed. Okay, if I totally, did you see the onside? Did you see the onside kick?
Yes.
Did you see the onside kick?
I did.
It went 4 yards.
How was that Mike Tomlin's fault?
Let me tell you how it was Mike Tomlin's fault. Obviously, his kicker does not know how to do an onside kick. Obviously, he does not know how to do an onside kick. To do an onside kick and only go 4 yards on an onside kick is, I could do better than that, okay? Now, hang on, hear me out. There was 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. There was 2 timeouts plus a 2-minute warning, okay? We all know Jacksonville was going to run right down the middle. They wanted to eat those timeouts. They weren't playing passing. They weren't going to let Blake Bortles throw the ball. Remember, he played not to lose. He didn't play to win, Blake Bortles, which is a smart move for Jacksonville. They were in field goal position. All they had to do was catch the ball, and they were in field goal on the onside kick. They hadn't successfully onside kicked in, I think, 11 years. Okay? The onside kick percentage is what? 10% in the NFL? Maybe 20 if you're lucky. I doubt it. The odds would have been better. They would stop them. Now, I know they didn't stop them the entire game. They didn't.
Which raises another question.
Why?
How is Leonard Fournette's success and domination Mike Tomlin's fault?
We're not there yet. I'm still yelling about the onside kick.
Continue.
The worst decision possible. They kick off the ball. They get at the 25-yard line. They run straight up the gut 3 times in a row. Pittsburgh uses all their timeouts. They hold them, because they held them pretty well in the second half, except for that little disaster area with that pass to the fullback. They held them pretty well. They would have probably held them. Okay, now they're at the 33-yard line. They punt the ball, say 40 net yards. That's 17-23. They're at their own 27-yard line. They only need to go about 40 yards in a minute and a half with Roethlisberger, who put 42 points up pretty much on, with his passing pretty much. Okay? Tomlin, you are a joke. Okay? It's time for you to go. I realize 15 teams will hire you the next day, and I'm okay with that. It was a disgraceful performance by the head coach more than anything else. That onside kick was an embarrassment. You embarrassed yourself. You embarrassed your team. You embarrassed the city of Pittsburgh. You embarrassed me. Okay? As a Steeler fan, I was ashamed the next day. Not because the team lost, not because the team gave up 45 points, but because you are so incompetent that you have no idea how to coach a team. I can't believe you've been around 10 years. I don't understand how it's even possible that you could be such a freaking disgrace. Okay? Yeah, let's blame Todd Haley. Yeah, maybe he decided to go for it 4th down and do a friggin' sweep. Who does a sweep on 4th down?
Especially with
seriously.
Le'Veon Bell.
I mean, just go right down the middle with your 6'5" quarterback that weighs 260 pounds. I mean, seriously. What in God's name was going through his mind?
Can I ask Ed a question?
Trying to, molest girls?
Excuse me, Ed.
Yeah, that was inappropriate. Anyway.
Ed, I'm still not quite sure if we know how Lee really feels.
I don't know.
Do you think we're going to get to that sooner or later?
I don't know, but the radiation, the heat that I'm feeling right now.
Me tell you something.
It's like he's talking about Jeter.
I had my Cordell Stewart jersey on, and I was rooting for Pittsburgh. They were down 28-7, and I was like, you know what? The game ain't over yet. We're gonna keep watching it. They came back, and then Tomlin just dropped the load right there.
Well, you know what?
It was horrible.
You know what I think part of the problem is?
Mike Tomlin sucks.
I think that part of the problem might be SwamiLee's. Now, hear me out. For those of you who don't know, SwamiLee's has a custom, not a habit, because he doesn't do it every game, but often before big games, he puts his pup. Let me finish. Now Quinn.
It was Jesse.
Quinn doesn't do that.
Jesse was the one. Jesse had the scarf.
He often, but does not always, post a Fear the Scarf picture of Jesse wearing a Steelers scarf, and I'm sure he did not do that before this biggest of first-round games.
I didn't feel it was necessary. Please understand that I don't know what year it was. It might have been this is the God's honest truth. It was around 2009 or so. Jessie, who's my late American Eskimo, she was the most gorgeous dog to ever walk the face of this earth. She had a Steelers scarf. So we put the Steelers scarf on her, and one year the Steelers won every single game where she wore the scarf. God's honest truth. We were on vacation one week. They lost the game because she didn't have the scarf on. We forgot to put the scarf on one week. They lost that game. God's honest truth. That might have been the Super Bowl year they won.
Okay.
I think it was second Super Bowl year. They won every game she had the scarf on. It was the most ridiculous thing in the world. I mean, probably a coincidence of all coincidences.
So the moral of the story is...
Wear
the scarf.
I didn't think the scarf... She's long gone.
I understand.
I post the picture because she's so gorgeous.
But then either recycle the picture or put it on...
I did miss that, but I really didn't feel that even Mike Tomlin's incompetence would prevent the Steelers from winning this game. I thought it would be a close game, like a 20-16 type of game. I didn't think it was going to be 45-42.
Now, remember when I first came here as a guest and recorded with you, and I said the one team in the AFC, and I said Jacksonville. But Jacksonville did not play the defensive.
I was going to say, if I told you Jacksonville would give up 42 points, would you have thought they'd even be in the game?
And I honestly thought Jacksonville would win the game. I honestly thought Jacksonville would win the game via route. I thought they were going to route the Steelers.
I
really did.
Crazy.
I really did.
Crazy.
I really did. I'm a big Leonard Fournette fan. I think he was going to. I just for some reason, that's what I felt. I felt that the Steelers weren't going to be able to do anything against the defense in this game, the way they came in. But Steelers shouldn't have lost this game.
No.
They shouldn't have lost this game.
And why the Steelers lose the game? You, Mike Tomlin. You stink. Okay? You need to be unemployed right now.
Now, what
I'm
happens?
tired of the one and dones. You and Andy Reid should get together and talk about all your failures.
Now,
because that's all you do is fail. You fail. Andy Reid fails. You both stink.
What happens with 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes, 2+ minutes left?
Yes.
Okay? Kicks the ball.
Yes.
They hold them.
Yes.
Steelers get the ball back, punt, no timeouts left, maybe a minute 10 left in the game.
No
minute left in the game. They come, kick field goal, whatever they come, they win the game. Is Mike Tomlin still a bad coach?
Well, he still made many mistakes.
So it's just because of that one
No,
call?
he still made many mistakes. Okay, the sweep on fourth or the pitch, that's just a bad play call. You got a giant quarterback. You just push down the middle, or at least give your fullback or your running back just through the tackles, for God's sake. You don't sweep around. You just don't do it. It's just a bad call, period, the end. Tomlin has never been a great head coach. He's had success, but much like Andy Reid, who I keep bringing up, he fails at crunch time. And he does. He fails at crunch time. But this was the worst. I swear I saw them lining up for the onside kick, and I was like, there's something wrong here. What's going on?
I also did question this when I saw that. I said, why are they doing this now?
4 yards.
Like,
it went 4 yards.
But you can't. You can blame him for making the call. You can't blame him for the kick.
He had to know his kicker didn't know how to do an onside kick. He had to know his kicker didn't know how to do an onside kick.
You know what? That's the job of the special teams coach to tell him, hey, this guy can't kick an onside kick.
My man Norm Johnson, 100 years ago, actually recovered his own onside kick. That's how good of a kicker Norm Johnson was in his day. Okay? Unfortunately, Boswell's had a great year. I don't blame you, Boswell. I blame the coaching staff for not teaching you, but I blame Tomlin for his total, complete incompetence. This loss was on you, Tomlin, period, the end. So thank you that I have no football to watch tomorrow.
You know he's not going anywhere, right?
I know.
You know he's not going anywhere.
But at some point in
and
time...
you do have an Eagles game tomorrow.
Who cares?
You have an Eagles game tomorrow.
Who cares? It's Case Keenum against Nick Foles.
You married an Eagles fan,
Please.
so you have to root for the Eagles. You have to.
You know what? Unfortunately, watching the news and watching all this Eagle stuff is actually starting to annoy me. Okay,
I purposely don't watch this. I don't want to get over
this
over,
dog mask crap. I mean, it's one thing the people that are doing it for charity. That's a beautiful thing. They're donating the money to the But these other morons that are doing these shirts. Oh wow! Some guy said something about underdogs. Dude, you were underdogs. You know why you're underdogs? Because you're going against Matt friggin' Ryan, who was in the Super Bowl last year and is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. That's why you're underdogs. And you got a guy that was cut twice in 2 years and wanted to retire as your quarterback.
Well, hold on.
What did Matt Ryan do?
Obviously,
Matty
crapped
Ice
the
has
bed.
melted pretty much every time he's been in the playoffs.
No, he got to the Super Bowl last year. So you thought he wouldn't survive, against a second-string quarterback that looks like Napoleon Dynamite? I mean, come on.
Actually, I said the Eagles were a lock to win last week, and I bet $50 on it too. So.
Oh, there we go.
So I put my money where my mouth was.
What a player!
If we're spilling truths right now, someone asked me on Friday night, "What do you think?" Last Friday, what do you think about the game? And I said, I think they lose a close one, man. I don't think they're good. I said, I think it's done. I think they'll lose by like 3 points. He's like, you serious? Knowing that I'm an insane Eagles fan, I was like, yeah, there's just no way. I don't see them winning. And I was gladly proven wrong. So I'll keep with the Negadelphia because I just want them to keep proving me wrong.
Well,
fact of the matter is, you can't, no matter what, you made it to the NFC Championship game with a backup quarterback, with backup left tackle, backup linebackers.
Against Matt Ryan.
Julio Jones, Sanu, and their running backs.
That is true.
That is definitely true. That's what you did. So, does Minnesota's offense scare me? No. Does the defense give me concern? Yes. And that's where it's going to be.
But if they could shut down Ryan, Jones, Freeman, and the rest of them, then Case Keenum and company.
Freeman's been a dog all season. I had on my fantasy team. Freeman was a dog all season, so they didn't shutting him down.
But you know what the difference is between what you're going through, what we're going through?
Mike Tomlin
is not our head coach.
There you go. So you have a chance. Just like Andy Reid is no longer the head coach, so the team actually has a chance this time. You'll actually have a timeout left after 10 minutes in the first quarter.
Did you know every time Andy Reid loses a playoff game, an angel gets its wings?
There must be a lot of angels flying around up top.
There's a lot of angels up there right now.
Anyway, on that note, it's time to wrap everything up. Thanks for tuning in here, SwamiLee's Sports Talk. I'm Swami Lee.
I'm Mike, and before we tune out, I just have one thing I'd like to add. You see this fine starting lineup, Eric Lindros here. We never really talk hockey on SwamiLee's, but this week the Flyers retired Eric Lindros' number. And if we ever talk about an athlete whose Hall of Fame career was derailed by injuries, I think Eric Lindros has to be at the top of that list.
When you have like 8 concussions in your rookie season, you're bound to have problems. But no doubt he was a man. He was the man who they built these, whatever you call that center these days. That's the
What is it
reason.
now? The Wachovia Center?
Who knows? They changed
Wells
the name.
Fargo?
Wells Fargo.
They change the name every 6 weeks. But
It was Core States.
if you don't know,
First
if,
Union.
First Union.
if you're one of the younger people, this is the man who had the building be built. Without him, that building does not get built. So in spite of the fact that trade cost them way more than they got from the standpoint of skill between
Forsberg.
Hextall, Forsberg, Ricci,
Ricci,
all
yeah.
that stuff, they got a building out of it. They weren't getting a building out of Forsberg, Hextall, Ricci, Simon, etc.
Well, he was supposed to be the next Gretzky, and maybe if he hadn't had all those injuries, he would have come a lot closer to it.
Well, he could have been the next Gretzky if he kind of hid in the corner and cherry picked the entire time. Then he could have been the next Gretzky. I mean, Gretzky had what's his face as his
Messier.
enforcer.
Messier.
No, he wasn't
Anderson.
the
Oh,
enforcer.
and was
No, the
Anderson?
other guy. Who's the other guy?
Yari Curry.
No, there's one more. The guy got traded with him to L.A. He got his enforcer traded. It wasn't McTavish, was it?
No.
No.
The one guy was traded.
From Edmonton, he made him when he traded to LA. He didn't have to bring him with
exactly
him.
right. I mean, say what you want, and I'm not trying to degrade.
But Gretzky even admits that.
Yeah,
Gretzky
I mean,
even admits it.
but-
Like, he kept me safe.
Oh yeah, and it's great. I'm not taking it away from him. He's smart, but that's why you can't compare the two. I mean, just like Crosby. I mean, Crosby wears his diaper and cries if somebody looks at him funny. You know, Lindros would check you. So I give
Well,
him a
he'd
lot of
fight
credit.
you.
Yeah, and of course he has. You know, but then again, I'm not a doctor, though I play one on TV. I don't know if concussions are hereditary because his brother Brett had like 9 of them or something like that and had to retire at his age like 24. So maybe it's hereditary. You never know. Anyway, we have to wrap this up. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Swami Lee.
I'm Mellow Mike.
I'm Crazy Ed.
We'll talk to you soon. Have a great night.
Hey,